The recent warning from Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to the Philippines over the U.S. intermediate-range missile deployment has sent ripples across the international community. According to Wang, this move could fuel regional tensions and spark an arms race, putting the already strained China-Philippines relations at a crossroads. Earlier this year, the United States made a significant move by deploying its Typhoon missile system to the Philippines. This deployment was part of joint military drills aimed at strengthening military cooperation and readiness between the two allied nations. The Typhoon missile system, also known as the Mid-Range Capability, MRC, is a U.S. Army transporter erector launcher for standard SM-6 and Tomahawk missiles. Originally developed as a strategic mid-range fire system, SMRF, the system was designed to strike targets beyond the range of the Army's precision strike missile, but shorter than the long-range hypersonic weapon system. In the joint military drills, the Typhoon missile system was not fired, likely to avoid escalating tensions in the region. However, its mere presence in the country has raised eyebrows, particularly in China. The duration of the missile system's stay in the Philippines remains undisclosed, adding to the uncertainty and tension in the region. The deployment of the Typhoon missile system was a direct result of the U.S.'s withdrawal from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. The system officially became combat-capable last year. The Typhoon weapon system, designed by Lockheed Martin, adapts the naval Mach 41 vertical launch system for land use, enhancing the U.S. Army's ability to address threats in the Multi-Domain Task Force, MDTF, environment. From its position in Luzon, Typhoon's missiles could cover not only the entire Luzon Strait, but also reach the Chinese coast and various People's Liberation Army bases in the South China Sea. This strategic positioning has been seen as a significant move by the United States in the Indo-Pacific region, but it has been met with strong reactions, particularly from China. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi warned that the deployment could fuel regional tensions and spark an arms race. These developments highlight the delicate balance of power in the region and the potential for escalating tensions. The relationship between China and the Philippines has been complex, marked by both cooperation and conflict. Over the years, the two countries have had their share of disagreements, particularly over territorial disputes in the South China Sea.
We are pleased that the last negotiations on the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, the Philippines therefore continues to uphold the primacy of the 1982 UN Convention under the Law of the Sea as the framework within which all activities in the seas and oceans are conducted.
These disputes have strained their bilateral relations, leading to a situation where the relationship is now at a crossroads. The recent developments have only added fuel to the fire. The deployment of the U.S. Intermediate-Range Missile System in the Philippines has been a significant point of contention. China has expressed grave concerns over this development.
关于美国在菲律宾部署中导，中方已多次阐明了严正的立场。我要再次强调，菲方允许美国部署中导，是配合域外势力，助长地区紧张对立，挑动地缘对抗和军备竞赛的倒行逆施。本地区需要和平与繁荣，不需要中导和对抗。我们敦促有关国家正视地区各国的呼声，尽早纠正错误的做法，按此前公开承诺，尽快撤走中导系统，不要在错误的道路上越走越远。
With Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi warning that such a move could fuel regional tensions and spark an arms race. In July 2024, Wang Yi met with Philippine Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo on the sidelines of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN Summit in Vientiane, the capital of Laos. This meeting was the first publicly acknowledged face-to-face exchange between the two ministers since 2022. During the meeting, Wang expressed his concerns over the recent developments, emphasizing that dialogue and consultation are the right way forward. This statement hints at China's preference for diplomatic solutions rather than military ones in resolving the disputes. Wang's remarks reflect China's stance on the issue. He warned the Philippines against the deployment of the U.S. intermediate missile system on its soil, stating that such a move could create tension and confrontation in the region and trigger an arms race. These comments underscore the seriousness of the situation and the potential implications for regional stability. The meeting between Wang and Manalo also highlighted the challenges facing China-Philippines relations. Wang pointed out that the Philippines has repeatedly violated the consensus of both sides and its own commitments. This statement suggests that China views the Philippines' actions as a breach of their bilateral agreements. The relations between China and the Philippines have been fraught with challenges, largely due to the Philippines' alleged violations of consensus and commitments. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has highlighted these issues, pointing to the deep-seated problems that have been plaguing bilateral relations. One of the main points of contention is the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. The Philippines, along with several other countries, has overlapping claims with China in this region. Despite a 2016 arbitration ruling by a United Nations tribunal invalidating Beijing's claims in the South China Sea, the disputes have continued, with China rejecting the ruling. Wang Yi has accused the Philippines of repeated violations of bilateral consensus and its own commitments. This statement suggests that China views the Philippines' actions in the South China Sea as a breach of their bilateral agreements. For instance, the Philippines has been accused of ongoing maritime infringements, which China sees as a violation of the consensus reached between the two countries. In addition to the maritime disputes, the recent deployment of the U.S. intermediate-range missile system in the Philippines has also been a source of tension. China views this move as a violation of the Philippines' commitments, further straining their relations. Despite these challenges, both countries have made efforts to manage their differences. Recently, China and the Philippines reached a deal aimed at stopping clashes at fiercely disputed shoals in the South China Sea. This deal, reached after a series of meetings and exchanges of diplomatic notes, aimed to establish a mutually acceptable arrangement at the shoal without conceding either side's territorial claims. However, the implementation of this agreement and its impact on China-Philippines relations remain to be seen. As Wang Yi has warned, the situation is delicate, and any further violations could lead to serious consequences. Therefore, it is crucial for both countries to honor their commitments and work towards a peaceful resolution of their disputes. The introduction of the U.S. intermediate-range missile system in the Philippines has raised concerns about a potential arms race in the region. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has warned that such a move could trigger an arms race. This, he said, is completely not in line with the interests and wishes of the Filipino people. An arms race is a competition between nations for superiority in the development and accumulation of weapons.
We believe it will further the military intervention of the U.S. in the Philippines. It will lead to intensified basing of the U.S. in the Philippines. It will heighten tension in the region.
Historically, arms races have led to increased tensions and have often been precursors to wars. Therefore, the potential for an arms race in this region is a cause for concern. The U.S. deployment of the Typhoon missile system in the Philippines is seen as a significant move by the United States in the Indo-Pacific region. China has been building up its armed forces at a rapid pace, with President Xi Jinping ordering China's armed forces to modernize. He aims for them to become a world-class military power, capable of fighting and winning wars by 2049. The U.S. Navy predicts that between 2020 and 2040, the total number of Chinese Navy ships will increase by nearly 40%. This rapid militarization could be seen as a response to perceived threats, such as the U.S. missile deployment in the Philippines. The implications of such a development could be far-reaching, affecting not just China and the Philippines, but the entire region. An arms race could escalate tensions, increase military spending, and potentially lead to conflicts. Furthermore, it could destabilize the region and undermine efforts towards peace and cooperation. In conclusion, the potential for an arms race triggered by the U.S. missile deployment in the Philippines is a serious concern. It underscores the need for diplomatic solutions and dialogue to address these complex security issues. The South China Sea has long been a flashpoint for geopolitical tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. The waters are rich in natural resources and hold strategic significance due to their location along major shipping routes. Several countries, including China and the Philippines, have overlapping territorial claims in the area. China asserts its sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, including areas within the exclusive economic zones of other countries. This claim is based on the so-called 9-dash line that Beijing has drawn on official maps. However, in 2016, an international tribunal invalidated Beijing's claims, but China rejected the ruling. The Philippines maintains that parts of the South China Sea, including several shoals, fall within its EEZ. The country has been asserting its rights to these areas, leading to a series of standoffs with China. One of the most contentious areas is the Second Thomas Shoal, locally known as Ayungin Shoal. The Philippines occupies this shoal, but China also claims it. Encounters between Chinese and Philippine vessels in this area have grown more tense and frequent over the past year. China has tried to repel the vessels, considering their presence illegal intrusions. In one incident, a Philippine Coast Guard vessel was water cannoned by Chinese Coast Guards as it tried to approach the waters near Scarborough Shoal, locally known as Bajo de Masinloc. Such incidents have further strained relations between the two countries. However, there have been efforts to de-escalate the situation. Recently, China and the Philippines reached a deal they hope will end confrontations at the fiercely disputed shoal. The agreement, which does not concede either side's territorial claims, aims to manage differences through dialogue and consultation. Despite this agreement, the situation remains delicate. The South China Sea confrontation is not just a bilateral issue between China and the Philippines, but a regional and global concern. The way these disputes are handled could set precedents for other territorial disputes in the region and beyond. In a significant move to maintain the stability of the maritime situation, China recently reached a temporary arrangement with the Philippines. This arrangement pertains to the transportation and replenishment of humanitarian supplies to Renai Jiao, also known as the Second Thomas Shoal. The Second Thomas Shoal, locally known as Ayungin Shoal, is a disputed territory in the South China Sea. The Philippines occupies this shoal, but China also claims it. Over the years, the shoal has been a hotbed of maritime confrontations between the two countries. Under the temporary arrangement, China has allowed the Philippines to deliver necessary life supplies, such as food, to its grounded military vessel at the shoal. This arrangement was reached after a series of consultations between the two countries, with the China Coast Guard supervising the operation throughout. This move has been seen as a positive step towards easing the tensions, at least for the time being. It reflects a willingness on both sides to manage their differences through dialogue and consultation. However, it's important to note that this is a provisional arrangement and does not prejudice either side's positions in the South China Sea. The recent developments in China-Philippines relations have put the spotlight on the delicate balance of power in the region. The deployment of the U.S. missile system in the Philippines, the escalating confrontations in the South China Sea, and the temporary arrangement over the Second Thomas Shoal are all significant events that have shaped the dynamics of the relationship. As the situation continues to evolve, the international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution to the rising tensions. The temporary arrangement over the Second Thomas Shoal is a positive step in this direction, but it remains to be seen how the broader disputes will be resolved. China-Philippines relations are indeed at a crossroads. The decisions made now will have far-reaching implications, not just for the two countries, but for the entire region and beyond. This underscores the importance of dialogue, consultation, and the peaceful resolution of disputes in maintaining regional stability. Thank you for tuning into our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.